It's strictly tones. Yeah.
So we're making props. Yeah.
Yes. Finally. This would probably be somewhat similar to the other session that we did, the inanimates one. We created characters from objects.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's just the props itself, not creating any character out of it. Alright, for the props designing, the PDF has an activity included in it already.
Alright.
But this is a good PDF to have though for practice purposes. For example, the activity that it would tell you to do, like, it says each prop has been carefully chosen for its potential to give you several entertaining situations for your characters to act out. So like if you took out of the list, if you chose a flashlight, your character would either be shining it under their chin while telling a scary story around a campfire, or making shadow puppets, or signaling for help. The different stuff you can do with a flashlight, you can use your character to depict. Yeah.
Do the props then.
Yeah, just to see how far you can push and use the props. So you're supposed to get different gestures out of the different props that you choose to use. And it's like a lot of them they have listed here, but you can add your own to it if you want to. But these that are here already is like more than enough.
Yeah.
What I'm gonna do, I'm going to use paper, letter size paper. Since we're probably gonna end up doing like drawing several different props. So I just want to have them all on one page.
Oh.
And then the final one would have been like.
Okay.
Then the final one would be like I draw a character using at least one of the props. It doesn't have to be colored, because it's a sketching exercise. So basically, when you finish, you're supposed to have like a bunch of different sketches. When you're doing prop designing, the props are supposed to match the style of the characters and everything around it. So you can't have like the character in one style and the props in a different. And if you do that, it has to be discreet. It can't overpower the character too much.
It can't pop too much.
It's not supposed to pop more than the character, unless it's on purpose. Like in a situation where if it's like a character and one of the pops are popping out, like look like it's overpowering the character, normally it means that that character is about to interact with that object. But otherwise, it should be in the background with everything else.
I encounter a problem like that already, but not in terms of props. Like I'm gonna do the Ninja Turtles cartoon, make the background clear it out, but the character them with the foreground, the color them will be used and start it up way too much. So it's like they're not even in the scene anymore.
You mean the one where it's just a mask?
Have to do, like,
the one that says it's just a mask?
So what we did have to do is like we get a brownish yellow type color and just put it over the entire screen itself and change the opacity of it.
Yeah.
To just make that effect.
Because you see, even the effect you have here is good enough. Because you have the characters in the extreme foreground and the background is barely visible or barely in focus.
Yeah.
But you don't have to put it to that extreme, because it depends on what you're doing with it. If you want it to be noticed, then
pop, just like, but if you see the background just look like it 2D and flat, and then just pop right out of it. Pop too much.
Well, alright. See, like the one with your that you did, Sexy Osa.
Yeah.
That one is good in terms of the props and the background, because the character is still the main focal point, and the background is just there to support it. But like I'm continuing in the animation where if he's to interact with any sort of props, like whatever is in his hand, that's the only time you should put any stress on it. Well, I don't think I can actually say it, but you know, everything that the characters have in their hands or using, like the books on the desk, you notice that the outline not heavy, which means they're just there, they're not really going to be touching it. And I noticed that if they touch it...
Just for staging purposes.
Yeah.
Staging.
Yeah. And I noticed that if they are going to touch it, then the objects end up having the same heavy outline as the characters. So it becomes a part of them. But so far, what I've seen on your thing is very much in line with.
I do try.
For prop designing, that's why it's important to pay attention to the script. But I know I don't like reading scripts, so if you don't tell me how to draw it, I might probably miss it. But I try to read it myself to get an understanding. But like for the props when you're designing them, if it's just that one position for that one shot you're using it for, then the one view is okay. But if they're using, it's a character gonna be using it over and over in different scenes and different angles, you need to draw it in different perspectives according to how they're gonna be using it.
Well, that's true.
Because I think that caught me one time when I was doing a little test subject, and they're animating. It was just like a short that a group of us were trying to do, and what happened is that we design everything we said we're going to design, and then we end up having to go back again to the beginning because this prop we need it in a particular direction, and it wasn't drawn for that direction, so it looks off. So I have to go back to stage one, redraw that prop, and then come back again. Then we realized that, alright, this character's hand wasn't drawn in this particular position. I have to go back and say, alright, you hear what, the first time, next time we do this, we're going to design everything in every angle we know we're going to be using it, and use it. Because it's really painful to go back so many times to redraw in perspective and all sorts of stuff.
I think then they say something like that in the animator survival kit.
Yeah.
But we mostly focus on the in-betweener who wouldn't know if to draw the props in perspective.
Yeah.
Like you might draw the coffee cup and draw the handle flat instead of when you look up.
Yeah, in 3/4 view. It's very, as in I can totally understand why they stress it so much. Everything
just
looks
wobbly.
Yeah. And it kind of make the thing look robotic if it's not the right position.
Maybe that's it. Although he's a man like to use shortcuts, some use a smear whenever necessary. Whenever possible, I say. Not necessary, whenever possible. Anyone see me can't get what we did, but do it.
Yeah.
Anytime we can't get what we did.
Yeah. That works.
Yes.
But what also caught us is that, like, when we were doing the backgrounds, we had to tell whoever was responsible for the backgrounds that, hey, this is too strong, you need to push it back, or take time with the lines, or do over the line work for it, because it's either the same as the character or too strong. Even the colors, I had to tone down the colors and push it back a little.
Really do. I think Igor Raptor did say, like in the panel, I think they say something about backgrounds. Like he must say stuff in the foreground to be like more saturated and stuff in the background to be less saturated, lighter colors in the background. The foreground like darker colors and the foreground lighter in the background, because we go off start to fade out more. Like something like that in there say.
Yeah. It's just like real life viewing, you know, if something closer to you will see, if it's really, really close, it will be blurred. If it's just in the middle ground, it will be alright. I'm looking at the background and the props.
Yeah.
Like every prop that the character has in their hand is the same line work treatment they get. And stuff in the background hardly gets any attention at all. Like it's just there to hint certain things.
Notice with him in terms of props and things, he like to use gradients instead of shading. Like props and backgrounds and them things there. Edge by old Elephant did it.
Yes. You notice how heavy the outlines for both the props and the characters are? As in the props that are literally in their hands. It's detailed, but like the stuff on the wall and everything is just barely. When you're working as a group on an animation, it's very important that you state the style and the color for the props and stuff. Because a lot of the times what happens is that they have a specific style for the characters different from the props. And it would throw off everything, so you have to make sure that the props match the style of the characters so that nothing looks out of place.
Oh,
Because if you notice, like some animations, they like sharp, smooth edges, and then other animations they like everything smooth, and other animations they like lighter outlines and different. You have to pay attention to those stuff because they will definitely notice, and everything will just look off. But like with this freeze frame right here, everything just meshes.
Like book in the foreground compared to like the mirror and things in the background.
Yeah. Everything in this frame meshes well so far.
Yes.
If you look at the word the guy called the making of Dam Keeper animation, Eric O.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, if you look at that, you can see that he was using 2D to make it. He was using look, there's a guy. There's a guy right there.
Yeah.
So he's walking across. He's 2D. Yeah. 2D. Yeah, man. This is a sculptor.
Yeah.
He makes something called a marquette. If I'm developing a film, Joe,
Maquettes?
I'm gonna do like that. I'm gonna like have the whole development team because this is development I'm talking, right?
Yeah.
I have my 2D artists working on stuff. I'm gonna have my sculptor working on stuff. It's just like a whole collaborative thing, and it's a whole fun thing.
I like this part of it though, in a way, in the whole designing of the actual characters in real life. Because that's like a toy merchandise collector's item kind of stuff.
Oh, yo, that's like treasure. That's like what we did. That's what I did when I was like kid playing in the dirt. You think I played in the dirt for nothing? I was serious, man. I was playing that dirt, man, making fun people.
I definitely want to make one myself.
So,
yeah.
Here's another question I'm going to ask you guys. When you guys join in, do you guys use references? Or you guys just draw?
I use references, definitely.
I have to use references.
It depends.
I'll be like, I don't know what, I honestly don't know what a toothbrush looks like.
You what?
If draw something, like, if I could draw something as a piece of anime, I could look for a reference, but if we just do it in animation, like just a day in a frame,
that's
just
exactly.
draw something with favor one can, snap it.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, I have my list, you know.
But if I draw something to people, I use a reference, because,
Yes.
I found some, you seeing this, Wayne? You seeing this?
Was it
I'm seeing?
This image here.
I'm seeing like strictly doing campaign.
What? Let's do this again.
That's brutality. Where's it now?
Seeing it now?
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah.
Get attacked by dust.
This is Gravity Falls' prop
That's
design.
brutality.
Okay, so who's this guy?
Gravity
Andy
Falls.
Gonzalez.
Okay, so
I did watch a video one time on the production process of Gravity Falls, you know. Watch a video once on the it's like the create that show like got you show me background artists or him got you like him do sketch them and then you have a background painters.
First of all, who's the name of the artist who did the prop design?
Andy, that's Andy Gonzalez.
Andy Gonzalez. So anyway, let's big up that guy in case he sees it.
Yes.
And we're like,
Andy Gonzalez, prop designer.
This is good stuff.
Yeah.
Keep drawing, and this is great work, and inspiring. So yeah.
But I think in Gravity Falls, everything stands as one, even though it's the same outline for certain stuff.
And also, I was looking at that too. I see like the same line weight because you have different line weight.
Yeah.
Just has to do with depth and whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So I like that. Okay, let me. Okay, so let's prop design.
Hey, what's this? Ah, what a beautiful day.
Well played.
Doing
Are you ready, kids? Well played.
doing goodness. Surf's up. Very measures. I am spun.
Well played. Cook 'em fast, boy. Are you ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
Cook 'em. Well played. All right. Something down here. Cook 'em.
Mr. Crab.
Cook 'em. Well played. All right. Something.
Sudden, I don't know, thanks.
About it.
Leo!
Oh,
Crabby.
sponge.
Be here!
Go.
Burgundy.
I don't suppose you.
Dear, I'm bloody. You've never.
Oh,
Crabby.
sponge.
Be here!
Go.
Burgundy.
I don't suppose you.
Dear, I'm bloody. You've never.
Sky. I am spun. Oh,
Crabby.
surf's up.
What you think? The men's are whoops, can we say?
Stepping on the beach. Sky. I am spun. Oh,
Crabby.
surf's up.
What you think? The men's are whoops, can we say?
Good Krusty Krab.
Yes, first.
Krusty Krab.
What you
Coming right up.
Crabby, cook 'em fast.
Kidding.
what can we say?
Wind it up. Cook 'em fast. Crabby.
Stepping on the beach. Wing.
Crabby, cook 'em fast.
Kidding.
What can we say?
Wind it up. Cook 'em fast. Crabby.
Stepping on the beach. Wing.
Do the thing with a thing, please.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Krusty Krab. I am spun. Very measures. Stepping on the beach. Krusty Krab. Going surf's up. Krusty Krab. I am spun. Very measures. Stepping on the beach. Krusty Krab. Going surf's up. Aw, barnacles.
Beep!